So you've just finished editing your masterpiece of a video. It's got all this awesome B-roll, all this awesome footage. It's super cinematic. You sit down, you watch it back, and it sucks.
Ah, God damn it!
Something's missing. You don't know what it is. But I'm here to tell you the one thing you're neglecting in your edits, and it's soundscapes. But what is a soundscape? Think of it like this. When you go outside, what do you hear? You might hear birds in the trees, water running from a water main, cars in the background. We want to try and recreate that atmosphere that helps draw people in, not just visually, but auditorily. I don't even know if that's a word. To make this as dead simple as possible, I want to break it down into layers. But let's jump into DaVinci to do that. So just before we get started, I want to go over a few things just in case you aren't really familiar with DaVinci Resolve. So we're going to be working in the Edit tab, which is the third one from the bottom here. Anything that you want to use, you want to drag into your media pool, which is accessed by these tabs up here. You also have your effects browser based up here, which will appear at the bottom, accessed by pressing effects. You may be able to see that I have a heap of audio tracks already loaded in, but if we drag an audio file into this timeline, it'll create a new track. You might have a little trouble at first, but by dragging and dropping, it'll create a new track. You'll also see me creating fades in my tracks, and all you want to do is pick the selected clip. There'll be a little thing that comes up in the corner, and you just drag that over your clip. And you can fade out by doing the same thing at the opposite end. All the sounds that we will be using today are from Epidemic Sound, so if you like what you hear, there's a free 30-day trial with your name on it in the description below. I've already got all the clips I want to use edited, and as you can hear, nothing. So let's start by analyzing what we've got. We've got some people in the background, we've got some cars driving by, North Borders adjusting his balaclava, some busy intersections, a man walking on some snow, a lady walking under a bridge, and a car with its hazards on, or maybe it's an alarm going off. And finally, a pedestrian crossing light. So we're going to start with layer 1. Ambience. We're pretty much going to be choosing whatever ambience we feel matches this scene. We might chuck in some night ambience here. We're definitely going to search out like busy street, traffic, ambience, and just find pieces that fit the scene. Use your best judgment and adjust the volume accordingly. This is meant to tie the whole scene together, as with the selected clips, they all look fairly busy. Now with that done, we're on to layer 2, cars. We're going to choose a car driving by soundbite and align the peak of that waveform with the car being closest in frame as much as possible. This just happens to be where the video is cut. We're going to add a bunch of fade onto either end and adjust the volume accordingly. Have this bleed over the next clip so it ties it all together and it just doesn't sound super harsh. Next, we're going to add in a car idle. At the intersection here, you can see that there's lots of cars idling as it's an intersection. We're also going to be able to reuse this sound with the car that has its hazards on. Adjust the volume accordingly, add fade in and out so it just blends it all together. Now that layer 2 is done, let's get on to layer 3, face. We want this to be barely audible but still present, if that makes any sort of sense. So let's chuck some fabric being crinkled on here, adjust the volume, and let's just see where that gets us. It's alright, but it's not there just yet. The cool thing about soundscapes is that as long as it sounds like it's meant to be there, you can get away with putting random sounds wherever you want, just as long as it fits. Now with layer 3 done, we can get on to layer 4, which is the footsteps. Footsteps are a tad tricky, but with a little bit of patience, you'll be sweet. Just zoom in and look at where the steps are happening. Look at where the person is contacting the ground and line it up. Now we could leave it there and adjust the volume, but it does sound flat. She's in a tunnel. There needs to be some sort of reverb happening. So here's a quick trick to add reverb to tracks to make it sound just a little bit more natural. We want to stack 2 clips together, one being longer than the clip we want to add reverb on, and create that as a compound clip so it stacks together. Then add reverb on top of that. This means that the reverb tail can happen for however long you want without it cutting short. With footsteps done, we can jump onto layer 5, which is the car alarm. Now for the car alarm, we want to find a sound that suits the purpose. Drop it onto the track, but make sure the audio starts playing before the clip and fade it in to draw your viewer into the next scene. Layer 6, the pedestrian light. This is the last step. LED lights don't really make noise. And frankly, the light is too far away in the video for you to actually hear anything. But we're gonna add something there anyway. We're gonna drop on this neon sign hum, lower its volume to where it sits well in the mix, and that's it. We're done. Bonus tip. Now you can add music to your clip. It's entirely up to you, depending on what you're really wanting to do. But make sure it fits a scene, as it can kill the mood. But we just made your video go from something super plain and boring to this end result. If you found this tutorial helpful, please like that smash button and smash that like button. I'm going to be doing more of this, so keep your eyes peeled. If you want to see what a chaotic photo shoot looks like, well, just watch that video right there. Louis, can you stop moving, please?